Hey, this is Anthony from Bayside, and you're listening to Collision on Voice FM.
You are, of course, from the band Bayside, who you're celebrating your 15 years as a band next year.
Yes, we are.
I guess the start of those celebrations are going to be in Australia at Soundwave.
Yeah, those Australian shows will be our first of the year. We plan on doing kind of the whole year will kind of be our 15-year celebration. So, yeah, we're starting it in Australia with Soundwave, and then we come back and we do the U.S., and then we're going to go to Europe. And, yeah, it's going to be a really celebratory year for us. Yeah,
because when you look at celebrations and then you look at even just the tours that you've got set up so far for your 15 years, I mean, you hardly even get a day off in March. You're going to leave Australia and then you're just going to hit the road hard.
Yeah. Well, we really like having big chunks of time off. That's the way we've sort of run the band for the last few years. So, yeah, like you said, we fly from Soundwave. Our U.S. tour starts 2 or 3 days later. So we basically fly right into the first city, just rehearse for a day or so, try to beat the jet lag and start. Cause, it's good for us because right now we're in the middle of 4 months off. So we like to sort of stack the touring and then, we like to go hard for a few months and then take months where we don't have to leave our houses.
So then, like you said, you take chunks of time off, but those chunks are usually like between 3 and 6 months. It's not like 12 months or 2 years that you take off.
No, we've never taken off that long. That's sort of, we're still very much a working man's band. That's always how we've sort of described ourselves. We're a working class band.
Yeah, because you are a bit of I was going to say workaholic, but maybe it's just that you have so much passion for music and it is your life, because even now that Bayside are on one of these small breaks, you're doing solo shows.
Yeah, I'm doing solo shows. I also do a lot of writing for other people. Through my publishing deal, I do a lot of country songwriting and pop songwriting and stuff like that. So I work on that stuff when I'm home. I own a merch company here in the U.S. So I work for, I do that kind of work a little bit. And, I always got a lot of things going on. I mean, I am certainly very passionate about music. I absolutely love it. But at the same time, I definitely am a workaholic.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you want to discuss what happened with John Holohan back in 2005 or not. If you don't, we'll just move on.
To answer your question, we don't pretend it never happened. Our stance on what happened with John, we lost John 10 years ago. It's going to be 10 years ago. And our stance on it has always been, we don't pretend it never happened. But at the same time, we don't want it to be our legacy. And mainly because we've always handled John's passing as a friend, not the passing of a band member. So when he first passed, we did a lot to commemorate him, and then we didn't anymore. It's only because since then we grieved personally, and we remember him personally as a friend, and he was more of a friend than a band member, if that makes sense.
Can I ask, the whole band were in this van accident after a gig, and yet, it didn't, you kept going, so, that must have been a difficult decision to make at the time, or was it just not even something you considered that the band wouldn't continue?
We certainly decided that day that we were going to continue. It did the same day. We were sitting at a restaurant. It was me and Jack and the guys from Hawthorne Heights and the guys from Silverstein. And the guys from Aiden. We were all sitting in a restaurant. And me and Jack said, it'd be great if we can keep going. Finish out the tour as a acoustic. And the Hawthorne Heights guys said, Hawthorne Heights was headlining at the time. And they said, it was their tour. And they said, of course you're welcome. However, whatever you want to do. If you guys want to come back and play acoustic, if you don't want to come back, that's fine. If you want to come back and just sell merch and not play, that's fine too, whatever you want. And Silverstein had some space on their bus for us. And they said, you could ride with us. You don't have to worry about transportation. So those guys all really took care of us.
Yeah. And well, then we will move on now to, you actually, I thought I read you're working on an album at the moment, but you only just released one in February.
Yeah, we're re-releasing the last record. Our record, Cult, came out last February, and then this February, we're re-releasing Cult with some bonus tracks.
Oh, right. So that'll be out in time for your visit to Australia.
Yes, yeah, right around the same time. It'd probably come out, I think, while we're there, actually. Yeah, but right now, while I'm home, I'm just doing a lot of writing. I think, I think that I have a pretty cool collection of songs that I may put towards a solo record next year. I'm just writing all the time. I write all the time. I catalog all the songs, and I sit on them. And then if they sound like Bayside songs, they go on the next Bayside record. If they sound like solo songs, they go on my solo record. If they sound like somebody else, then then I sell it.
Yeah. So have Bayside been to Australia before? Have you been to Soundwave even?
Yeah, we've done Soundwave twice, and we've only done one club tour, but we've done this will be our third time doing Soundwave and our fourth time in the country.
Right. Well, the fact that Soundwave's going to be over 2 days next year, is that something you're looking forward to, or is it something that's going to seem a bit, oh no, you guys won't be overwhelmed because you're workhorses, you don't stop?
Well, it's 2 days for the fans. It's not 2 days for us. Because while we're playing, I'm not sure exactly how the schedule goes, but we play Sydney one day, and then the next day we play Melbourne. So Sydney has 2 days and Melbourne has 2 days, but we're in each city only once. So to us, it's a normal tour. So to us, it's only a normal tour. To the fans, it's a 2-day festival.
Right, and what happens this time for the first time too is usually the bands get their week off in Sydney, but for the first time you will be in Melbourne having your week off. Is there anything around Melbourne that you're looking forward to seeing?
Oh, I love Melbourne. Actually, Melbourne's my favorite city in Australia. I prefer it over Sydney.
Yeah.
I like Melbourne because to me it's a little more homely than it just feels more comfortable to me than Sydney. Sydney, as with like a lot of major cities, I'm not sure exactly of what the identity of Sydney is. I mean, I'm from New York City. I grew up in New York. I've lived in New York my whole life. So I think maybe I judge big cities differently. Whereas Melbourne, while obviously a big city, it has character to me that Sydney doesn't have.
It is considered the cultural heart of Australia. It's very artsy and cultural.
Oh, it is. Oh, I didn't know that, and that's exactly how I felt about it. So it's wise that it's considered that, because I felt that without even knowing that it was considered that way.
Yeah. Well, back to Soundwave, they haven't actually, since they've added the new bands, which you were one of the 15 bands announced in the second announcement, they haven't said whether you're going to be on day 1 or 2 yet. So I'm not sure if you know who you're actually playing with, but is there anyone on the bill that you're really looking forward to seeing?
Again, I have no idea what they were playing either, and probably because, and AJ will let us know whenever he decides. But, it's always great to see friends, so it would be great to get to travel with News on Glory and spend time with those guys because they're real old friends of ours. Lagwagon is one of my favorite bands of all time. And then obviously, I don't get many chances to see bands like Faith No More and Soundgarden. So, I mean, I'm not a huge Faith No More fan or a huge Soundgarden fan, but like I said, you don't get many chances to see bands like that. So, it's definitely exciting. It's kind of like we did it one year and 9 Inch Nails was playing. And, I'm not a huge 9 Inch Nails fan, but it's pretty cool to get to see 9 Inch Nails for 5 or 6 days.
Right. See, now I would like to see 9 Inch Nails one day. You haven't seen them yet.
Well, that's the cool thing about festivals in general. You get to see, whether you're playing or you're just attending, that's the cool thing. There's going to be bands that you love, that you're really excited to see. And then you get to see bands that maybe you wouldn't have bought a ticket for, I probably wouldn't buy a ticket to go see Faith No More, but it's a great excuse to see Faith No More, and they're a great band. So that's the cool thing about festivals. Yeah,
I'm finding this year particularly the bands that they've got on the bill, other than, the top bands, I'm finding so many new bands that I just absolutely love that I didn't even know existed before. It's amazing. And I actually...
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I really thank AJ for putting all these bands on the bill.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's the best part about festivals. That's what it's about. It's the headliners, and you get to see these great bands that you love, and then you get to find out about some new bands.
Yeah. Is there going to be sideshows?
I'm pretty sure there is going to be sideshows. I haven't heard about them yet, but AJ, who books the tour, marches to the beat of his own drum. So I'm sure there's going to be, and I'm sure he will let us know when it's time for us to know.
Of course. I will actually tell people that they can find you on Facebook at facebook.com/Bayside. You do have your website, which is bayside.com. You've got your video trailer for your 15-year birthday celebration up there, plus all your tour dates and merch and everything like that. You've got your own website.
I do.
AnthonyRaneri.com, and people can get tickets for Soundwave at soundwavefestival.com, and you will be here. Soundwave kicks off on the 21st of February.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you when you get down here in February. It's going to be fun.
Cool. Thanks for taking the time. I'll see you in a couple of months.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, this is Anthony from Bayside, and you're listening to Collision on Voice FM.